Hey everyone, it's Mary Blocker with Mary's Stampin' Cafe, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Go ahead and click that subscribe and that bell so you do not miss all the wonderful things that I'm going to be bringing you. And hey, comment. I love to have conversations with people. Let me know what you think of the things today. But it's going to be wonderful because today I was kind of creating, and I created a card, and the way that I cut my designer series paper, I was able to get a second card, a 2-for-1. And then I had some scraps left over. So guess what? 3 cards today. How easy and fun is that? So we are going to be using the beautiful suite of products in the Rustic Harvest Suite, found on page 48 in the July to December Stampin' Up! Mini Catalog. It is so rich and stunning. This is the Happy Harvest stamp set, and it has a bundle where you get the dies and the stamp set at a 10% discount when you bundle them together. You have the label that cuts out, the beautiful florals here, the pumpkin, the leaf, and then you get this really cool textured pumpkin where you layer this piece here to get your full pumpkin dimensioned and that. And then you have these fantastic little swirls. And don't forget this little guy right here. It also has a die. So it is a fantastic bundle. We're going to be using that today. Just beautiful. The other thing we're going to be using today, of course, is my favorite, is the Designer Series paper. And this is the Rustic Harvest Designer Series paper. Now, I will show you this paper, and it is so rich and beautiful. These are Cajun Craze pumpkins with Mossy Meadow, Early Espresso, and then the back side, kind of that Early Espresso and white. Love this crushed curry. We're going to use that today. And look at the back side of that. Is that not gorgeous? And then, of course, Stampin' Up! Artists do that wonderful thing where they have the top and the bottom. And so if you cut right across here and then cut, you can make some card fronts that just using that beautiful thing and putting a sentiment on it, and you are good to go. Stampin' Up! Artists are so talented. They make such beautiful, beautiful Designer Series paper. This piece, stunning. Actually, we can cut these out. Going to do a little of that. Oh, let me flip these over so you can see the back sides. So again, a little bit more muted and just some design pattern over and over. This is a really nice one with the crushed curry, the line of dots, beautiful. And then this one, I think this is stunning. So this, what's really nice about it is you can take your blending brush and you can do a little bit of blending of some different fall colors if you didn't want all of this to be the white or gray in the black background. But isn't that beautiful? I just think it's so pretty. And of course, then there's this lovely Mossy Meadow with the swirls. And then the back side, nice. This fantastic pattern. Oh, love it. So that is the beautiful Rustic Harvest Designer Series paper. And I tell you, once you start creating with it, you just cannot stop. And so it was so great when I was able to keep going with my design. So one kind of layout took me to 3 cards. So I do have a Mossy Meadow base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I do have a very vanilla for the inside at 4 by 5 1/4. And then I did cut a piece of that beautiful crushed curry Designer Series paper piece. That is just so pretty. And I cut that at 4 by 5 1/4. Now I have my triangle that I cut a piece of 5 1/4 by 4, and I got 2 Designer Series papers. So now what's interesting as I look at these, you have, I can't do 2 of the same because the pumpkins are, one is that way and one's upside down. So I can take and just turn it this way which is beautiful as well. And I'm going to get a second card out of that. So let's go ahead and I'll just show you real quick how easy it is on your trimmer to get that perfect cut. So you can see on my trimmer here that when I open it up, I've got the groove for the cutting right through here. So I just take my 4 by 5 1/4 and I have my pumpkins the direction the card is going. If I was doing my card the other way, I would turn it differently. But I'm just going to take that corner edge and go right up to where the guard on either side stops my paper from going in. Make sure that is lined up, and then I'll go ahead and just turn this corner until it is also lined up on the blade, and then I will go ahead and cut. And so then I have 2 perfectly cut triangles. I don't have to try to get the tip at the top right and then at the bottom. Just slide it right up there, and you only have to worry about the bottom corner because that top corner is already done. Now I thought, wouldn't it be great? I'm going to work on this card right here. Whoops. This one here. And then when I get to the other one, I thought, well, I don't really feel like having another Mossy Meadow, so I changed it out to the other color that's in the Designer Series paper, which Cajun Craze. So Mossy Meadow is a nice color throughout, and Cajun Craze is a nice color throughout. And so I have a Cajun Craze and I have a Mossy Meadow. So let's go ahead and get going. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to pull out the beautiful Leaf, Label, and Amber Gem Combo Pack. This is part of the Rustic Harvest suite of products, and you get these beautiful gems with 2 sizes. You get plenty of those, and then you get all of these leaves. It's a 50-piece collection here. And each of the leaves has a hole here because the idea is that you'll probably be doing some tags or things. Well, I am not, but those holes can get covered easily with a gem. So I'm going to take out 4 of these because I'm thinking of my 2 cards. And what I want to do now is I want to put some texture on those. A couple of different ways you can do that with texture. I can use my blending brush and bring that blending brush in, and I could give color to the leaves just around the edges and darken them up a little bit. Or I can take our embossing folder products and we can do some embossing there. Now I pulled out a couple here. This is the Leaf Fall 3D embossing folder. Very beautiful. And this here is the Twigs and Sprigs embossing folder. Now, it's a hybrid embossing folder. That means that once I have embossed my beautiful leaves and sprigs, I then can use the coordinating die sorry about that. And then I can die cut out all those beautifully embossed things. Now, you will see that when I lay this in here, which way does this go? Just like so. See how those line up just like that? Don't know if you can see it real well. But that goes through, and you can emboss and die cut out at the same time. So I thought, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I don't want to die cut them all out, so I would not use my die cut piece. I would just put that die cut piece aside. because I would just want to be doing the embossing part. But I decided as I was looking at it that I don't want to use these because everything's very far, kind of distance. And if I were to lay down my leaf, I'm not getting a whole lot of coverage. So that would not be a good choice for this card, but I cannot wait to create with this hybrid embossing folder combo. I just can't wait. So I think I'm going to use the 3D Leaf Fall embossing folder. This would be just beautiful on any background base of a card or a layer of a card. But as you can see, I'm not sure here, let me find something I can put behind. That's going to help a little bit. You can see the nice size leaves that there are there. And so I'm going to grab my trimmer. Actually, I am going to move my stamping pad aside so I have a little bit more space. And now I'll bring up my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take off my thin die adapter plate and my number 3. We're going to go ahead and pick this up, and I am going to lay a couple of leaves in here so I can get some good texture on them. I'm only going to do 2 at a time. See that I'm getting is what I want on there. And I think the one on top, I know you can't probably see both. I'm going to slide just a little bit left. So now that's going to go on there, and then we have our gray, or our 3D embossing folder plate. So I just have the base, then the 3D embossing folder, and now the gray 3D embossing folder top plate. And we'll go ahead and run those through real quick. And it goes through like butter. Just goes through like butter. And so now, oh, I like this very much. So now you can see I have 2 leaves that have lots of fun fall dimension on them. So let me do that again with the other 2 really quick. Now that you saw that, I'll put 2 more in again. And I'll look to see what I have. And I kind of want to turn that one so it gets a little more. And I'm going to turn this one so it seems to get a little more as well. There we go. And I'll put my base back on. I know you can't see everything, and that's okay. Then that top 3D embossing folder plate, and run that through real quick. So it's slightly changing in our weather where our days are not as scorching hot. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and we've gotten into the 90s this summer, which I know for many people that is not that hot, right? There's been a lot of droughts and hot weather. I hope you're all well and keeping yourself safe from that. All right, let's go ahead and bring in our mat back here again. Isn't that a beautiful embossing folder? The leaves just came out so nice. So let's take a look. Here's 2 of them. And here are the other 2. They really did a nice job. Now it's interesting because I just have this little desire to see what would happen if I put a little bit, I think I have a little bit of crushed curry ink. Let me see, I have my crushed curry. I'm going to try to give a little, so I'm going to roll it around. I'm going to take this scrap and kind of start off and then go over top of the embossed part of the leaves, and that's going to give a little more depth and texture, and not pressing really hard because I don't want to get the underneath part. I just want to give some interest to the leaves that are embossed up, and it'll kind of get in those crannies and it'll brighten up the leaf. So Celebration has just finished. I hope you were able to pick up some free level 1 or level 2 celebration offerings. This time we will have another celebration period this next part of the year in January and February. And you'll have more opportunities for more great things. We have a promotion right now called Perfect Partners. There are several stamp sets that Stampin' Up! Has created dies for, and that you may have the stamp set that you purchased, and now there are dies that coordinate and you can get the dies during the month of September. That's fabulous. And if you don't have the stamp set, you might want to go ahead and purchase that bundle. Okay, now let's go ahead and bring this back in. We're just going to start doing some adhering down. I'll put the link down below so you can see where those fantastic Perfect Partners products are. Ooh, we've got Paper Pumpkin, and now we have the Perfect Partners. It's interesting because I actually had a couple of stamp sets that I had not purchased. I liked them, but I was like, oh, but there's not any dies with them. And, oh, I just like my dies and punches so much, right? Now, the corners of these will want to stick up a little bit. So go ahead and just get a little of your Tombow glue and get that corner down well. There we are. So now let's take a look at our leaves. I don't know if you can see really well, but the little bit of that crushed curry that I used my blending brush on really did give a nice little color to that. So I am going to put this leaf here, and because I embossed it, I'm going to use my liquid glue so I don't unpress or unemboss unintentionally by pushing down with my tape runner. I think that's going to look good right there. And then I'm going to go with this one. And this one's going to go up on a dimensional, or some dimensionals, to give it a little bit lift and more dimension. There we go. That's going to go just like that. That little bit of dimension. Very nice. And now I am going to bring in another stamp set. I'm going to bring in this one right here, the Soft Seedling stamp set. I like it so much. It has Thinking of You, So Grateful for You, and Hello. Now, Hello Harvest has You Are Such a Blessing, Hello, You Are Missed, and Wishing You the Loveliest Day. Now, I was thinking about using the banner here, but I think I want to keep it a little more simple than that. And I am going to stamp out, maybe I will do the You Are Missed. But I am going to do the, well, So Grateful, go right here. So Grateful will, but you know what, I'm going to do the Hello. I'm going to do the Hello out on the outside. And because I can't use the large Hello that's in the Harvest Hello, or Hello Harvest, so I'm going to make sure. And that little one is going to come right here. And I have that cute little hello right there. Looks great. The Mossy Meadow is a nice deep color. Another part of the products that we have in the Rustic Harvest is this natural linen thread. And I want to use it, but it's thick. And I don't want it this thick. So I'm going to take my scissor, and I do want this really rustic. So I'm just going to go right up the center And I'm going to just take a piece of it and tie it in a knot. That should work. And now if my fingers will work. So that's what I love. You can take your ribbons, you can cut them. I could actually also use my blending brush and dye this ribbon another color. But I want to keep it natural so it can go with the white that's in the pumpkin. Sorry, don't know why this is giving me so much trouble. Here we go. Hello. Grab it and pull. Now you're going to get a lot of fraying, and that's okay. Just trim that off. And there we are. And that's going to go right here on the leaf. So I just need a little glue dot. Oh, my glue dots. Let's see. There they are. Sorry. My mini glue dots managed to be on the counter behind me. So here we are. There's our little doot dot. I'm going to take it off and kind of roll it because this is very thin. It's not very thick. And so I don't want us just seeing a big old blob of a glue dot, right? And there we are. Very rustic, and I love that. I love that it's very rustic. I feel like it's a little bit too long. I'm going to trim that right there. Trim just a little. There we are. Okay, and now we just need to take a look at our gems here. And I'm going to be putting a large gem here. I'm going to put a smaller one on the one that's closer to us. There we are. And then we are going to have a third one because we want to do things in, I'm going to put it here by the hello. Do I want to put it down over here by the pumpkin? Where do I want this to go? I don't want it to be here because that'll be like in a line. I think I'll put it right by that hello. There we are. Very pretty. Okay, so now we've got the inside of our card. We don't want to forget about that. Clean up my little mess here. Okay, so when we take this here, we said hello, so then we're going to use the soft seedling and say, so grateful, or thinking of you. I think we're going to do thinking of you. I just really like the font that's on this. I'm going to do this differently so I make sure I'm doing things straight or lined up even. Okay. Now I'm going to also use this little seedling that's here. And I'm going to stamp it with the Mossy Meadow, but I'm going to stamp off. Bring my scrap in. Okay. And that's going to go right here. Very, very soft. And then thinking of you is not going to be stamped off, but I do want to stamp it once. And we'll walk it along again, and then got this little bump on my workspace. It's kind of weird. Thinking of you. Right like so. With that little seedling. I love it. And then we'll go ahead and we're going to put that right inside our card. There we are. So I really like being able to put an image with my sentiment that I'm doing, and I will just stamp off so it's a little lighter. Thinking of you. And there we are. What a pretty, pretty card. Now I'm going to set that right there because we are going to do something very similar with this one. And remember I said it was the crushed curry. And so it'll be so very interesting just to see a little bit of difference that happens, but how we might also change our sentiment and what we're doing there. So let's go ahead and get our pieces glued on. Go ahead and give me a like, you guys, and remember, if you're not a subscriber, I will have all of these supplies listed on my blog for this project. There we are. These are going to be a little bit more separated out because I am going to use that label on this one. So these are both going to be glued down with liquid glue. So interesting when you just change the base of your cardstock, how it's going to completely change the look of your project. Oh, I just love the detail on the leaves when you emboss them. And so, so perfect. There we are. So we're going to take that and set that aside because I'm going to get the stamp and we are going to put it on this block here, I believe. Yep, that will work. Probably could use a little bit bigger block, but that's okay, right? Use what you have sitting around with you. Okay, we are going to do that, and now I have a scrap, because remember I said when you start cutting designer series paper, the 12 by 12s, and you're cutting down, 5 1/4 by 4, and all of those measures, you always end up with these strips and pieces left over, and it's so great that you can start to use them. So we're actually going to stamp on this. And we're going to stamp on that with, I should use Cajun Craze, but I'm not going to. I'm still going to use my Mossy Meadow, and this says, wishing you the loveliest day. I'm going to stamp one time. There we are, because it is a new stamp set. I have not used it. This is the first time I've been playing with it. Love it. And we'll stamp that out. And there we are, wishing you the loveliest day. I love stamping on the designer series paper. Just get a deeper color, and you are good to go. Now I am going to have to die cut this out because there is a die for it. And I'm going to go ahead and bring you out so you can see a little bit more. There we are. Now this one, I do have my base, and I do need to bring back my thin die adapter in the other bottom plate. Then I will need my die, which is right here, the label. Love it. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this on. Apologize, there's a little bit of sticky tape from where the die was on the board. And it keeps sticking. No problem. All right, and then we need the top plate. And everything is going to come out beautiful. I love using my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And did you know that Stampin' Up! In the annual catalog has bundles with the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and the standard size. No, I think they may be all minis. I'd have to go back and look. Where you get the machine and a bundle together in a bundled price. You should check that out if you don't have one of them. I'll put a link down below where you can see where those are at. Okay. Now we have that, and that's going to come here. You know what? This leaf, I don't know if I can bring it back up though. I did kind of a lot of glue. It's a little too low. We kind of lose him. But I think I'm gonna have to do it anyway. I'm not gonna be able to get that leaf back up. I use that liquid glue. Once that liquid glue is set, it is set. That's for sure. That is for sure. I'll kind of do this. But I kind of want to center it here. There we are. There we are. And then we'll get those gems, which are, under here. I'm going to get a large one to cover this hole. It's a perfect way to camouflage, right? It's the perfect way to camouflage. There we are. And then I think I still want to use a little of that natural ribbon or linen. And so if I just take this and do a little tucking in, let's see, if I tuck it in here like so, or down here, and just tuck it up under here, I think that's going to work. Okay. So what do we do, and how's the best way to do this? Well, I would say take a mini glue dot and put it on there. You know, you don't have to have a bunch of ribbon, you don't have to have a bow, but it is so nice to have a little more texture and give a little more wow and pizzazz to your project. Now I've got that little glue dot there, and we'll go ahead and just lift up and slide that there. Let that kind of stick there. There we go. And then we will go ahead and clean up our fraying. Oh, I love it. There we go. What do you think? Oh, and I just realized, I'm so sorry. I have you way down again. Way up there. Let's bring you down, back down. All right, so let's talk about the inside of this one. Since we had wishing you the loveliest day, I am going to, do I want to do the soft seedling again? No, I think I'm going to use this leaf right here. And we are going to put this leaf with a little crushed curry. And then I'm going to bring in my mossy meadow. So I stamped in the crushed curry, and now I'm just going to do a little kissing with the mossy meadow, and look what we get there. So I'm going to do one there, and now I'm just going to go ahead and rub that off, and I'm going to stamp again in the crushed curry, set that aside, and just kiss with the mossy meadow. And there it is. And every leaf will be different when you do that, but look how beautiful that comes out. Isn't that nice? All right, so let's set that aside. Close my crushed curry. But yes, it's so beautiful in the fall time to go ahead and do a little bit of that technique because leaves are never just one color in the fall. And there we are. I'm not going to do any sentiment on the inside. I'm going to allow for writing a nice note. So taking a look at these two, I'm wondering which you prefer. Leave a comment for me on which of those two you like. The little hello or the wishing you the lovely day. So we had the Mossy Meadow base here, and our triangle of the coordinating designer series paper was at the bottom left. And on this one, we're using the the Cajun Craze, and our pumpkin diagonal piece is at the top. And so just a totally different, oops, I'm so sorry. A totally different look there. And there they are. Now, I told you that we get a lot of scraps, right? When we're cutting our designer series paper. And so I just happen to have some scraps that I thought, you know what, I could do something with this. So I'll set these two cards aside. And then I do still have a piece of the Mossy Meadow. I have a layering piece that's 5 1/4 by 4 that I thought would be good to add some depth, because then I just have some scraps from when I was cutting my pieces. And I love, 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 love this piece. I love those little acorns. Just so nice. And so I thought, okay, let's do a little something. It could be fun. So we're going to take the large leaf here in the soft seedlings. And I'm sorry, but I need a large block. Large block. There we go. And this is going to come on here. And we are going to do tone on tone, Mossy Meadow on Mossy Meadow. And the stamp's a little larger, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And what I want you to notice on this stamp, you can see that it stamps a little darker and a little lighter, and you can see that in the stamp set. It's the way the stamp's created. And so now when I come on here, I'm just going to do a little background, and you're not going to see all of it the same depth. And there we go. Just wanted to give some texture and dimension to that, and now that's going to lay just like that, and it looks terrific. All right, now I'm just going to glue that right to the front. I like doing an additional layer on the card base, just 1/4 inch smaller. It just seems to add a little bit more dimension and depth to the card. All right, and now I've got these strips here. And I'm thinking I want them offset like so. And then I was thinking coming up with the yellow here, the same, matching the same as the Cajun pumpkins. Something like that. So this one has to go down first. And I'm coming right to that edge of the layer, making sure I have everything straight. And I'm just going to let that hang over. It's okay. Oh, all right, so we're going to do this a little differently. This one's going to come this way because I went all the way to the edge and I wasn't supposed to. But that's okay. Like I said, I was just playing around with my scraps, and I thought, how can I use this? There we go. And I'll bring this beautiful Cajun pumpkins. Oh, just love them. And that's going to come right to the edge as well. Okay. Some just kind of neat interest, showing off that designer series paper. So So I'm going to come along with my scissor and trim. And I'm really okay that that's even overextending a slight little bit. So this I thought was so cool. Now you guys, I have got to show you because it's the coolest thing ever. I hope you're still watching my video. You will definitely give me thumbs up after you see this. I'm telling you. So in the dies, remember I mentioned the Rustic Harvest dies. There's these three pumpkins. You can see the detail. So this is the one, and then this one is going to go here to give it dimension, and then there's the stem. So I had some of the white glimmer paper that's part of the red and white glimmer paper 6x6 pack in the July to December mini. And I thought, if I use that, would I be able to get that dimension? And so I did. I die cut out those two pieces, and I don't know if you can see them, but you can see the detail that's come out of that. It did emboss the glimmer paper. So cool. And then here is the stem of that pumpkin. Now the other thing I did to save on time, and because I was playing, I cut out of one of the Designer Series papers pieces the squash, the pumpkin, one of the leaves, because I thought that would be really fun to add in here as well. There's a sample in the catalog that kind of gave me inspiration for this. Now I'm going to pull in my blending brush and the crushed curry because I love this pumpkin right here. And then you take this, and I've got it upside down. And that's going to create your pumpkin. That's going to create your pumpkin. And here's the stem. It's running away on me. And there's that stem. So beautiful. And then this is going to come in here, and this is going to come in here, and this leaf is going to come in here. Somehow, not sure. And then I'm going to have my sentiment right here. Now, what I wanted to bring my blending brush in is because I thought this is beautiful, this white glimmer, but it seems so dark up here on there. So I am actually going to do a little bit of blending some of that color onto the pumpkin here, just to dull that white. That white is so white. And I like it, but I just think the glimmer is so fun. All right. Let's go ahead and glue this down. And this is going to come right about here, I think. And then this is going to have dimensionals to give it that depth and make it feel like it's a 3D. Just make sure I put this in the right place, right direction. There's that. And that goes this way. You just kind of can feel it suddenly which way it should go. There we are. And you can see it's that pumpkin's getting some depth and dimension, right? That's so neat. Okay, and now I'm going to do just a little bit of adhesive on the back of this. Oh, let me use my liquid glue. That would make better sense. It's going to go right there. So how fun is that? Isn't that great? Okay, so let's see how these are going to go here. This is also going to have to be on a dimensional. This one's not necessarily going to need to be because it can be right there. This pumpkin's going to go right here. This pumpkin maybe is going to go right here. Yes, and that gourd's going to go right there. So this gourd just needs a little bit of glue. And let's see, if he is going to stick right in here, this part of him will need a dimensional because it's raised up. So when you have part of it's already going to be glued onto a raised up surface, and then the other part's not, you want to make sure it's matching the depth of that. And I think that can stick right in there. So just a little bit of glue right on here. I'm not even going to glue the back side. It's not going to be necessary. The reason I'm kind of putting it down in there like so is the one branch of it is kind of cut off from how the designer series paper was. But isn't that pretty? And then we have this right here, but I thought I might put another little strip along here. But it really wouldn't matter. So I'm going to stamp the You Are Missed. I don't think the You Are Missed is going to fit though. Let's see. Oh no, it's larger. So I'm going to use the For You from the Soft Seedlings. Look at that. I've used a lot of the Soft Seedling sayings. For You. Remember to stamp it. Get a good coverage. And that's going to come right. Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's going to fit. That is not going to fit. So we need another strip. I don't know that the vanilla strip is what I want, although the vanilla strip works. All right, we're going to do it. We are going to do it. For You. So I'm going to come in here and trim. All right, so now we're going to come around and do like that idea of going around and mimicking want a soft corner on that and come up around. And come around and get a soft corner on that. All right, and then we're going to bring that blending brush in. Kind of come around. This has been really fun to sit and create with this and just using bits and pieces and thinking about and creating something more. And is that where I want it, just right there? Or do I want to just kind of bring it and park it right there? I kind of like that. And we can just do some things with gems maybe. I do like that. I'm going to do that. I like how that worked. Yeah, you're watching, I'm creating. So the nice thing when something's like this going on, and I didn't quite have this designed all the way. And I think it really does a nice idea for you to be able to see and think, oh, what do I do when I have these extras and these pieces? So I'm going to get a little dimensional behind this one edge here because it will need it. There we go. That's got it there. Well, there we are for you. I like it. It's kind of all right around in here. And then we need those gems that came with those label leaves. Nice little kit. Oop, I need that gem right there. So let me grab it. Because we know we need to put a little bit of interest right over in here. So we're going to put a gem right there. It's a good place for it. We will put another one up here. Kind of like right in there. And then our last one is going to come right up in here. Or maybe right here. Aha! There we go. I like that. There we are. For you. Isn't that great? That pumpkin done in the glimmer paper is such a terrific thing that happened. Okay, well, we have the inside of the card to do now. And we're going to go ahead and just glue this right down in. I cannot wait to continue to play with this suite of products. All right, what do we have? I just love this piece right here. And this is what I still have. Would it be weird to kind of put that right there? Yes, probably so. But you know, it would not be weird. I don't have a full pumpkin though. Well, I am going to put, we have the wishing you the loveliest day. I am going to do that on the inside without doing any kind of die cutting of it because this has the stamp. You don't need to die cut it. Wishing you the loveliest day. And there we are. Okay, oh my goodness. That was fun. 3 projects happening because of one layout idea. Getting a taste of the wonderful Rustic Harvest suite of products. And just how great something can be when you have such gorgeous, beautiful designer series paper. So here's the 3 cards I created today. And isn't it fun to see how different 2 projects look or can be when you just change a little bit of the layout of the designer series paper? I love these label leaves and the texture that we gave them. And the gems in this, the label leaf pack is great. I do have to tell you, I absolutely love how the glimmer paper has embossed and you have that beautiful detail on that pumpkin. I do have to tell you guys, I will be doing lots with this soft seedling stamp set. You saw I used almost all of the sentiments of that. And the Hello Harvest stamp set and the dies. Oh my goodness, those dies are fabulous. Haven't even gone there. If you go on Pinterest, you will see all sorts of people doing the pumpkin and then putting that right on top. Patty Bennett did that, and then she put the gnome from The Kindest Gnome on top. Well, thanks so much, you guys, for joining me. Again, I'm Mary Blocker from Mary's Stampin' Cafe. The links are down below. That'll take you to any of these products that you see. You can catch me on live Facebook every Wednesday at Mary's Stampin' Spot on Facebook, so be sure to follow me there. And have a great day, and until next time, happy stampin'!